5 and ready to go.
How do you want to do the draft recap?
So I'd say we had because I was also thinking that we have as many people as we can on the pod during the summer that
Okay.
drafted with us, and then we. So I would say we talk about our strategy going in, um,
Mhm.
and then I guess just like picks we really liked, or teams we really like, or strategy going forward, stuff like that. Um, now that the draft is done, what is that? Oh,
Yes.
it's
Me.
Yes.
Pick me.
oh, she's just holding her hand.
Oh, you want to be on the to talk about the draft? Oh yeah.
Radio, are you scared?
Huh?
Nothing.
Ethan's team is named Joshing My Jam.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll go through all the team names, who they are. We'll talk. Yeah, and then just like just a pick we really liked or something. Um, you can have I have the maybe because I'm just a commish, but I have the draft board all up, so I have all the
Oh,
picks.
okay. Wait, who's? Oh, that's Shane. I also didn't put names into the group chat until like halfway through the draft, and then I realized like who the gremlins were. I had no idea. I knew it was just all of these like it was just Matt and all of these like nameless numbers.
They yeah, that was the beauty of me starting it, that I already had everybody. All right. Let's I guess let's get going. You about ready?
Yep.
All right, actually, I do want to find before we start, I'm gonna find a NBA free agency tracker that has the teams.
Ooh, I just built one.
There we go, for all 32 teams. Perfect. And then I'm gonna turn off my little radio because there's a storm warning. And I'm ready to go. You ready to go?
Yep.
Alrighty. I'll send the link to this to the group chat just to make it easier for them. And I guess I'll put it on Snapchat too. It's funny, towards like the end of the draft, or I don't even know, I guess right at the beginning of the draft, I didn't even know who the gremlins were anymore. Like it was just like it seemed like everyone became a gremlin.
Yeah, no, it did kind of seem like everybody was a gremlin.
All right. You ready?
Yes. Sorry, it's just reading a text from my mother.
No worries. Once it looks like you're done reading, I'll get it started.
Okay.
Alrighty. Let's rock and roll. Get started in 3, 2, and 1. Hello and welcome to the Wise Guys Podcast. I'm your host, Brady Fitzgerald, joined as always by my co-host, Chris Hagan.
How you guys doing?
Feels good to be behind a mic again, Chris. Feels like it's been forever.
It does.
We messed up on the 4th of July week, and then I went to Savannah, Georgia, so that's all right. I had a great time. During that time, we had the most ridiculous fantasy draft of all time. We've talked about it a little bit just to give it some context. Um, I got 14 of the
Worst
I'd say
humans.
14 of football ready guys that are
Just
bored.
sickos, just
Yep,
guys that love ball.
yep. Ball knowers that are here, and we decided we're gonna draft in the middle of July. We did 12-hour picks for the picks. I don't think any of them got under or over 7 hours. Maybe also because the draft paused as well at nighttime, so
Mhm.
maybe with the pausing there was some that were over 8 hours. But it seemed like everyone went pretty fast. I thought it would take weeks for this to do. It ended in a weekend. Yeah, it ended in a weekend. And if you were in the group chat, it would seem like it was taking 4 months to do. It seemed like we've been drafting since December and people
Well,
were go ahead.
my first pick, I was like, I thought that that nobody would really be pressed for time. I thought that everybody's thought going in was like, well, we have 12 hours to pick. This draft is just going to take a while. You can spend your time doing some research between picks, or like when you're on the clock, you got 12 hours. I mean, as soon as was it 10 a.m. that we started it?
Yes,
I'm the fourth pick. I'm on the clock at 10:02, and I'm getting 20 text messages. Pick. I was like, oh, yeah. Like I had a strategy, and then it changed, and then I felt pressured to pick. I
yes, there
feel good
was a
about
lot
the pick, but
lot of
I
pressure to
didn't
pick.
feel good about the pressure. I didn't like it.
No, there was some pressure. There was even pressure. We were supposed to start at noon, and then the number one pick said, "I'm a little busy at work. We might have I'll be if I'm the first pick. I'll be taking my time for the first pick at noon." And then everyone got fired up. Pitchforks came out, so I moved it to 10, and then we got rolling. The people weren't awake. People weren't ready. It didn't really matter. There
It
was
was funny that people were asleep at like 11:30 on a Tuesday.
Hey, that's okay. That's okay. That's why they're real ball knowers. Um,
That's true.
so I have the draft board up from everyone took. My strategy going in. Well, actually, you were the fourth pick, Chris. So what was your strategy going in for this draft? It's
So
a dynasty draft, by the way.
initially,
14 man. Sorry.
yeah. So initially, I thought at 4 it was going to be Chase, Jefferson, Bijan off the board, and then I was going to take Malik Neighbors, and I was just going to go. I was going to try to get 2 cornerstone receivers, and then just go, fill out the running backs wherever I could. I was really going to focus on receiver, and then Matt takes Jameer Gibbs 3. I was like, okay, well that throws a wrench into my plans. So then I have to decide, well, do I want to stick with my plan or do I want Bijan? So
Yeah.
I ended up deciding to take Bijan, and now I'm like, all right, well, now my cornerstone player is a running back. So that affects my whole strategy because now, like, how many years do I have of Bijan being a top 10 fantasy player?
Mhm.
And I don't know how much of my strategy I want to get into. I think it's fine, right? Like, people can know what I'm
Yeah,
shooting
teams are
for,
locked
right?
in for forever until
Forever.
you trade. So
um, but yeah, so like Bijan is probably going to hit his peak within the next 2 to 3 years. So I wanted to fill out my team where I was going to have a peak chance to win within 3 years. I was definitely not building for this year. And I think that's pretty clear when you look at my team. I think I have the least projected points in week 1, actually. Um, which is fine because I ended up drafting a ton of receivers and just neglecting my RB2 position. It's a fierce training camp battle between Javonte Williams and
Tank
Tank
Bigsby.
Bigsby
Yeah.
as my RB2. And I've got a bunch of young, unproven receivers that like Emeka Egbuka and Ricky Pearsall, like Pearsall is basically a rookie. Ibuka is a rookie and has 2 all-pro receivers ahead of him on the depth chart. So that's like a 2 years down the road. Hopefully, at least one of those guys pans out. I think if they do, I'm in pretty decent shape. And then in the draft next year, maybe I'll be bad enough where I get a top 3 pick and I can get one of the best running backs. And I also end up trading for Matt Byers' first round pick. So I've got 2 first round picks, which I
Oh,
feel
next
pretty
year.
good about next year. Yeah, to address that RB2 hole. Tight end, I'm set for hopefully for like 6-7 years with Trey McBride. Yeah, I mean I waited on quarterback. I ended up getting Herbert, who isn't the best fantasy quarterback, obviously, but
Hey, you got
he's going
Trevor
to give me
Lawrence too.
longevity. I do have Lawrence, so who knows? Maybe the Liam Cohen
Yeah.
offense takes a step forward. That would be awesome. And then yeah, my bench is a bunch of flyers. I have Jonathan Brooks on season long IR, so if we get a J.K. Dobbins type career trajectory there.
Yeah.
Jarquez
Basically
Hunter,
free
I
spot for
love
that too.
my taxi squad. Yeah, free spot. Ty Felton, Maryland guy. I have Daniel Jones 2.0 and Riley Leonard on my taxi squad. And of course, my wise guy at the draft, I was able to snag and Elick Io Manor. Is that how you say it? I don't even know how to say
I
his
think
name. He's
so.
my guy. But we get to my 2 favorite picks, which are I love the Marvin Mims pick, which I actually traded up to get him. He started falling faster than I thought he would.
Ooh, I
And
see that.
eventually I was like, all right, I'm not picking again for like 15 slots. I'd really like this guy. I just felt better about him than I would have about my second round pick next year.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's at least I can see what he's done so far.
And
And
he's on
like
the
once you
upward
get in
trajectory.
the round, right. Once you get in the second round in a 14-man league, like I'm looking at late second, third round wide receivers who I don't know are such dart throws. So that's why I made that move up for Mims. And then Noah Gray, the Travis Kelsey replacement, is just waiting right in the wings for me. So I love that pick, even though I already had McBride. Felt like I got some value there. That's pretty much my whole squad. I think I hit on almost every player.
Yeah, no, I like your picks. The RB2 position will be
No, it's
interesting.
horrible. But
Yeah,
I
it's
don't
really
like
interesting.
I genuinely do not care if I win this year.
Yeah, it's
It's
long-term
I want to see
strategy.
development.
We're building
So
dynasties here.
right. So Egbuka and Pearsall are the 2 guys to watch. And then I just need the Jets to find a quarterback or Garrett Wilson to find a new home. That's kind of a gamble. I'm basically betting on him finding a quarterback to play with in the next 3 years. If that happens and some of these guys pan out, I think I'm in pretty good shape.
I think the Jack Beach, I don't know much about him out of college, but apparently it seems like he's pretty high on
There's not a
fantasy
lot of
boards
competition.
even for redraft leagues. So I think
Yep.
that'll be solid coming in the
Yeah,
future.
I like that pick.
All right, yeah. I mean, I like your draft. Is the Jerome Ford just like, I mean, hey, he's been an RB2 the past 2 years type of deal.
He's a pass catching back that
Yeah,
I need guys to play.
that's true. That's true.
Bigsby or like I doubt that Bigsby is going to give me much more than I'm expecting. So yeah, those are just more bodies in the RB room.
And then you stole my defense.
I did steal your defense. I mean, they spent so much money, so and it's
Yeah.
Vrabel, so like
Yep.
they're probably going to be good on defense for a couple years, right?
And Christian Gonzalez. Yeah, they're going to be good. They'll be solid. I
Yeah.
was disappointed about that pick. Um,
We didn't you take? I think my defense went right after that,
yeah,
not to
your
you.
defense. Yeah, Commander's defense went
You had my
went right
quarterback.
afterwards. I do. I have him hostage. Um, so going into the draft, I'm pick 11 in a 14-man draft. I wasn't looking at Derrick Henry. I didn't really want Brian Thomas. Like I was just nervous that Travis Hunter becomes Travis Hunter on both sides of the ball. Like, yeah, he had a good season last year, but I don't know. I wasn't over the hills for him. And Puka Nacua would have been the other pick I would have taken here. And part of me kind of regrets it with how the rest of my draft worked out, but I was very nervous I wasn't going to get the quarterback that I did want. So I took Jaden Daniels because he's gonna be a 20-point per game scorer for the next 5, 10 years, hopefully. And
God willing.
yes, and he's basically, he's a Lamar Jackson. He's a running back that can pass. So I'm all about those extra yards, the free yardage. And if you don't have in fantasy, if you don't have Lamar, Dane Daniels now, Josh Allen, the running quarterbacks, maybe Jalen Hurts, you're leaving a lot of points on the board every week. So I figured I'll just lock him in, get him at that 12 spot, and if I end up getting Drake May, do what I'm doing right now and hold him hostage. So he's in a jail cell from now on, my first overall pick. But my second overall pick I would have taken him first round. I love me some Bucky Irving, 22-year-old running back, popped off in Tampa Bay last year. Hopefully, with the offensive coordinator gone, that they keep the same running scheme. Hopefully, they realize that what's his name? Who's
Rashad
their
White.
Rashad White? Yeah, hopefully they realize that he's trash still, and they don't forget that, and they remember how electric Bucky Irving was throughout the rest of this throughout the regular season last year. And then I was pretty thin on wide receivers after that. I needed someone fast, needed someone who played with a good quarterback, someone who had a decent rookie year. So I took Xavier Worthy. I like that pick. I
I
think
thought
that
that was
he
a
will
good
have
pick.
some real boomer bust games coming into the season. He's not going to get all the targets in the world, but he'll get touchdowns and he'll get some trick plays. Um, and it wasn't like I didn't want no Tech McMillan. I didn't really want uh, DK Metcalf would have been my other pick. And one of my other strategies was I'm not drafting a wide receiver too. So I didn't want Devontae Smith. I didn't want T
Oh,
Higgins.
I love Devontae Smith.
Yeah, he will be. He's a PPR machine, so I don't hate it. But I don't like having to deal with first AJ Brown and then the skinniness of Devontae Smith, which has worked out for him in
Skinny.
the NFL. Yeah, yes. I don't want it every time my number 2 wide receiver, or I guess it would have been number 1, gets the ball. I don't want to be fearful that he gets hurt. Um, but I
It's
did
fair.
also get Zay Flowers, so I guess that kind of goes against it. But at least he's a wide receiver 1 who played with a back-to-back MVP,
Oh, Worthy's not a wide receiver 1.
or not back-to-back 2-time. Yeah, I guess you're right. He could be a wide receiver 1 though.
He could. I guess
I
that's what
mean,
you're banking.
yes. And Rashid Rice went way earlier than I expected. Um,
Yeah, that took him, right?
yeah, Matt took him, and I wouldn't have taken him over Worthy anyways. So I just kind of I like
Is this
Worthy
the off the
better.
field stuff or like player profile?
I do think PPR wise, like he's a monster, Rashid Rice, but I don't know. Like if Worthy becomes my mindset is if Worthy becomes the Tyreek Hill, then I just get Tyreek Hill and like back with Mahomes. So that's what I'm banking on there. It's more of an upside pick, and you're right. It isn't a wide receiver 1. Now that I'm thinking about it, but um, that
I
wasn't what
guess yeah.
I.
It's like you project guys to be wide receiver 1s.
Yes,
It's
yes,
not
and he
at
won't.
this moment.
Yeah, and he's not a slot guy. Like Rashid Rice is a slot guy that can get over the middle, more like a Travis Kelce, which is great for fantasy. Now that I'm just talking about it out loud, but um, on the outside, he's that. I guess they call it C receiver, X receiver, one of the two. I don't know football terms, but he's the number 1. I think on the outside for this offense.
Mhm.
Then I rolled around. Drake May went right before my next pick, which was frustrating. But I knew if Michael Penix went to Thomas, then I would be able to text him quite easily and get that Drake May pick from him. Especially after he texted in the group chat. I don't know if this was a joke or not, but he texted that he meant to pick CJ Stroud. So I was like, all right, this guy already doesn't want Drake May. I know he wants Michael Penix. So if Michael Penix comes there, I'm stealing that pick. Before that, I took Holston Loveland. I think he'll be. I mean, they just drafted him very early. The Ben Johnson offense now with the Bears. So
Yep.